It's Hoge Jahns.
Well, what's up?
We've done this show before. Can we just replay what we did in 2019?
We've done it that year. We've done it other years. As the Open we play a lot on this show suggests, it's just they find a way. Once the games get played, they find a way to always amaze us.
Use the word amaze.
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily in a good way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Baffle, confound, frustrate, confuse,
Yeah.
annoy, infuriate.
Those are very, all those are very accurate. Welcome in, Hoge Jahns with you, a late night edition here, wrapping up a late afternoon beatdown of the Bears by the Green Bay Packers. Not how this game was supposed to go, even if, the Packers came out on top. I just did not expect, after what we covered all offseason, that they would just be thoroughly outplayed, outcoached in all phases the way they were in this game. It was quite frankly shocking a little bit that this is how it unfolded. Even for a team that, we go into this kind of prepared to be doing post-game episodes like this. But nonetheless, thanks for being here. We are live on YouTube for those of you catching us late night. A lot of you also listening as a podcast, I'm sure, in the morning. So hopefully you got some sleep, woke up with a little bit more optimism than maybe you'll hear in these 30 minutes. And a reminder, our post-game shows usually, it's kind of like a bonus episode every week. We don't go terribly long with these, but we do like to get our thoughts out immediately when the game is over. What do you got, Johns?
Well, to kind of comment off of what you said there, I think there were signs that there were problems incoming. Like the offensive line was just reshuffled, right? And there was questions about them to begin with. Nate Davis didn't practice, Thursday because of personal reasons after missing a lot of time during the offseason. Training camp, preseason, all that. The defense, this was like the first time we've seen them all together. Every projected starter all together on the same field at the same time. It's been a bit. So there were signs that this could be a potential possibility, but at the same time, DJ Moore, Justin Fields was working. The run game looked okay. There was promising points, promising developments for other parts of the team. So, what's surprising to me? DJ Moore having 2 catches for 25 yards. That's surprising for me. Justin Fields attempting one deep ball over 20 yards. Everything that short. That felt surprising for me. Not so much that they had that part of the game plan in, but the duration of it, the consistency of it. It just wasn't working, and they kept going to it. That was surprising, at least from a play calling aspect from Luke Getsy.
Yeah, there was just, I think, confusing is a good way to describe the overall game plan. I know we wanted to start with a question that we've asked before on the show years ago, actually. Is Jordan Love bad? I don't think so. I mean, I'm still not sold that he's good, that he's...
There was a point in the game where he was 5 for 16 passing in this game.
Yeah. And even midway through, I think he was 11 for 22. But I did see this nugget floating around Twitter. I think Fox actually put the graphic up during the game. He was better statistically in this game than Aaron Rodgers was in Aaron Rodgers' first start against the Bears in 2008. So that kind of doesn't feel good.
And at the same time, his completion percentage was bad, almost for the duration of this game. Wasn't good, right? But then the Bears just kept giving the Packers opportunities. And then by the end of the day, here are Jordan Love's full numbers. 15 for 27, 245 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 123.2. Didn't feel impressive, but at the end of the day, you look at the stats like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I take that no matter how we got it. Blown coverage is fine.
Okay, but here's where I'm at on this. Maybe I'm just being stubborn. Good for him. Good for Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur completely outcoached Alan Williams, Matty Eberflus, whatever. I mean, it was obvious. And that was a legitimate question in Wisconsin. We talked about it with Mike Keller the other day on the show. How much they're going to be looking at what does Matt LaFleur look like without Aaron Rodgers. Good for them. You're telling me a Vic Fangio defense lets Jordan Love look like that?
No.
Right? Come on. Come on. The Bears defense today was, in my opinion, more disappointing than the offense. I expected offensive growing pains. I didn't like the game plan. We can get into that in a little bit. We can pick that apart because I have problems with it. But 20 points, I thought that would have been enough to win this game. Defensively, the Bears were horrible. They were a little better at times stopping the run. But third down, you cannot allow them to be 9 of 16 on third down. A number of those conversions were third and longs that were relatively easy to convert. Wide open guys.
Jordan Love had all day and all day. All day.
I mean, Matt LaFleur was feeling it. He realized he was going to get Aaron Jones isolated on TJ Edwards, who's known for being a good coverage linebacker. It didn't work.
Still a mismatch.
It's a mismatch, but that's what I'm talking about, the coaching. He created that. He saw it. They executed it.
I think at that moment, I commented to Kevin Fishbane sitting right next to me in the press box. I'm like, oh, wow, the middle of the field is like wide open.
Yeah.
And all it takes is like your front four has to get home in that instance. Has to.
Not enough pass rush in this game.
And a lot of money spent on that pass rush. Not good enough. Not good enough. They can use the lack of playing together in the preseason training camp and whatnot as an excuse, but only to a point. At the end of the day, I mean, they didn't get it done. 9 for 16, the Green Bay Packers were on third down. 9 for 16. The Bears, 3 for 13, including a sneak by the tight end.
Yeah. You know, it started off okay. You got that little scrum on the sideline. Not going to take an extra. It was a legal hit that Jair Alexander put on Justin Fields. It was also unnecessary. Justin was clearly running out of bounds. Sent a little message. The Bears came back. Got in his face. Little scrum on the sideline. Refs sort of let it happen. Cleaned it all up. And then, bam, stupid-ass penalty at the end of all of that when it was all over. Set the Bears back. Didn't get the first down.
Well, no, that was offsetting. Those are offsetting.
Yeah, but the second flag came in late on the Bears for a shove well after the whole thing was broken up.
No, those were offsetting. The DJ Moore shove on Alexander?
Yeah.
Those are offsetting.
I know it was offset. You're saying that they called 2 penalties right there?
Yes.
That there wasn't already a Packer one?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. My
point is,
okay,
regardless, the S in hits that they don't stop talking about, that the players are probably essentially annoyed with by now.
Well, be smart.
Where was the smartness in any of this game?
The
opening kickoff had a unsportsmanlike conduct.
It did.
Or personal foul penalty.
I'm trying to pull up that play. I tweeted this earlier. That drive you're talking about still ended in 3 points. All that extra energy, all that extra passion in that moment. Lucas Patrick sprinting 25 yards to protect Justin Fields. It's fine in that moment. Like, I'm okay with it. It wasn't a dirty hit. It was well in bounds when the contact was first made. That's where I stand on it. Alexander's probably sending a message. But that possession, correct me if I'm wrong, still ended in 3 points.
Yeah.
He had 2 long drives that ended in 3 points.
It's 6 points at halftime.
Yes, that felt very like those are the my feeling in that moment was, well, Aaron Rodgers will make you pay for this. He usually does. You can't beat Aaron Rodgers with field goals. And you know what? Jordan Love too, I guess. Same thing happened. Same things played out. We've seen this story before. Bears get good drives, some consistency going, some efficiency going. Stall in the red zone, 3 points. Happened twice. There's your 6 points. Those were like the Bears lost to Aaron Rodgers a lot that way, and they just lost to Jordan Love that way too.
Yeah. And I guess that's where we can get into the game plan a little bit. But I don't know if it's a lack of trust in the O-line, a lack of trust in Justin Fields. They weren't throwing the ball downfield. And you know what? Whatever. Here's what it boils down to me. And I apologize for those that saw CHGO already tonight and heard me talk about this. You traded the number 1 overall pick for DJ Moore. You find a way to get more than 2 targets. And when
100%.
Devontae Adams has a bad game, the bad game looks like this. 10 targets, 4 catches, 40 yards, no touchdowns. 12 targets, 5 catches. Like, they still try to get him the ball. You cannot trade the number 1 overall pick for DJ Moore and then throw him the ball twice.
And just one possession.
I don't really care what the reasoning is, whether it's bad game plan, bad adjustment, bad scheming, the quarterback failing to throw on the ball, like whatever you wanted to blame, it's unacceptable.
The easiest thing to blame right now is the offensive line. If you want to tell me, if Luke Getsy wants to tell me, I didn't trust the offensive line, we had to get the ball out quick. Okay, fine, I understand that. But at some point, there's got to be some opportunity to take shots. And I think there was. I really do. You got to watch the film on certain things, but like I can understand that argument. Even DJ Moore and some players in the locker room hinted at that, like, you know, we're sorting things out in the offensive line. And I get that. Again, there's 3 guys playing in new places, and that just started a week ago. Nate Davis, I'm counting because he's barely done anything until this week.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy that, but eventually you have to adjust if it's not working. Like, what was Fields saying? Like, if you see, you know, we make a block there, it's 15, 20 yards, there's a gain there. But you're not blocking those guys. Chase Claypool can't get blown up at the line of scrimmage for TFL.
I mean, what about run the ball, play action, shots downfield? Why is everything so horizontal? If you are going with a horizontal game plan, why is EQ inactive when he's your best blocking wide receiver?
That's a good point right there.
If you're going to have Tyler Scott active and then only throw him the ball twice and basically not use him at all after the first drive, why is Velus Jones not active when he's a better kick returner? Like, nothing made sense out of those. Even it started with the inactives, quite frankly, when I was already scratching my head before the game even started.
I actually think one of those Tyler Scott catches was a check down where he was a decoy and nobody decided to cover him, like in the far left flat. Fields got to him. Protection was good. Check down. That's fine. Like, you need to stack completions. I'm not going to forget what I've said in previous podcasts. It's good. Stack completions. Find a rhythm. Get going. But where are the throws down the field? Like, DJ Moore, he gets you into the red zone, almost gets you into the end zone. Go find single coverage with him in that tight area. You know you can. Teams do it all the time. Motion him into it. Let him be your best player.
By the way, I apologize. That cold I was dealing with earlier in the week, it went away. I was good. And then, like, today, I think it was the bad football. Maybe it's allergies today. Maybe it's the bad. Maybe I'm allergic to bad football. I don't know, but coming home, it's just been full. The floodgates are open here. Got some tea ready here. It's been a long day. I think the Bears are trying to kill me.
You and many others, apparently.
Just can't deal with that. Bad game plans like that. Oh, man. What else do we need to touch on? People want us to blame Justin Fields. I mean, I don't think he was good. I also like on the list of reasons why they lost this game. Obviously, the interception was terrible.
It got progressively worse for him in the second half.
It started to snowball. But I'll tell you this, like, against Tampa next week, like, why did this offense look complete? This looked like the offense they were trying to run earlier last year when then they ended up switching it, admitting that they needed to change it. So, do they need to go back to more quarterback design runs to open things up? I mean, maybe. Whatever adjustments they make, they can't wait. They can't wait till week 6 this year, or week 7, or whatever that was.
Trip to New England. Was Fields bad? He needed to be better than Jordan Love. Can we just leave it at that?
Right.
He should have been better than Jordan Love. Should have been. And at times, I would say in the first half, he did look better. Even though the Packers had the lead. The Bears had 2 big drives. Not big drives, but like drives where they moved the ball. Again, they got 6 points when they needed 14. But they moved the ball. Wasn't awful. But then things got progressively worse. Pick 6. Lost the fumble. It's not good. You got this passing chart. It looks vaguely familiar to previous teams we used to cover.
Yeah, for those looking at the or watching on YouTube, you can see this. If you're listening to the podcast, try to explain it as best we can. But Zach Pearson tweeted out the next gen stats passing chart for Justin Fields. 37 passing attempts in the game, and only 4 of them went past 10 yards. He was 2 for 4 on those throws, one of them being the touchdown, one of them being an interception. And yeah, just when you put it graphically in front of you and how horizontal it is, it just brings back awful memories of his rookie year.
I just counted. That was 8 completions behind the line of scrimmage. 8. You have this big arm quarterback threw the ball all over down the field at Ohio State. And I get it. You don't have that same offensive line, but that arm is there.
But there's other ways to get those shots, namely play action. Like, why are we having the same conversations we were having in 2021? And maybe we should have seen this coming. I mean, we're thinking the preseason's fool's gold. Teams are hiding stuff. But remember he had -4 air yards in week 1 of the preseason? Everything was horizontal. He was 3 for 3. All those big plays, but they were all just catching runs. I mean, did that give them a false sense of what they could do? Greg Braggs was complaining all of training camp that they weren't taking shots downfield. And I was kind of like, yeah, well, they're trying to work on the intermediate stuff. They know that he could throw the deep ball.
See, I thought they were, but they weren't just connecting.
Well,
They're few and far between in camp.
Well, maybe that's why they didn't do it. I mean, I don't know. I guess we should have seen this coming.
But you know what worked throughout training camp every single day, regardless of the coverage? Who was on them?
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
You saw that 2-point conversion he almost caught. Like, that was an incredible catch. And if he doesn't land on that guy's camera, it's a catch.
Yeah. That guy's camera.
Like, you got to give that guy chances to make plays for you. You can't just target him twice. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, some people are going to be worried about Justin Fields after this. I'm not going to stop anybody for thinking anything right now. This was the one scenario you couldn't, and you could say you're overacting. It's week 1. This is more than just week 1. It didn't really matter what week this performance happened in. This was against Green Bay. This was against the Packers. This was the new era. We said it. Others said it. The Bears said it. The Bears put that out this week on Twitter. The start of a new era. Before the game was even played.
Feel like it.
No, it feels like the same damn show we've been doing for years on this show in our 9th season here. Ron on commenting, this was the nuclear scenario. It was about as bad as you could have drawn it up. And then it was worse than that.
And it got progressively worse.
Yeah. Because, like, at least they were in the game. You're like, oh, they're playing horrible. They're getting outplayed. But, like, it's a 10-point game going in the fourth quarter. No. And at that point, Aaron Jones wasn't even in anymore. So they don't have Christian Watson. They don't have Aaron Jones. They don't have Aaron Rodgers. They're throwing the guys nobody's ever heard of. The one rookie we know about, Jaden Reed, because we talked about him, he gets hurt. He's cramping up. Unbelievable.
Any bright spots for you?
I thought Trenton Gill had a great game.
The punter, okay.
Roshan Johnson.
Late, he might be the Bears' hurry up third down back there too, huh? See that?
Yeah. All of a sudden, he was like the only running back you noticed late.
And it's. I wanted to bring this up too. There was a point where Khalil Herbert wasn't playing anymore.
Yeah.
Foreman was in for a bit. Then it became Johnson. Towards the end of the game, he was your hurry up running back. Good pass catcher, good in pass protection. Hard-nosed runner will always get you positive yardage. Question marks there, maybe. It is week 1. You try to avoid overreaction, but man, that the mood at Soldier Field. I don't know what Nick gave you guys on your podcast, but
yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Like, take us. What we've been in a lot of bad locker rooms post game. What? I mean, you're more qualified than anyone to talk on this. Like, just what did it seem like?
It was down. It was down, like not 2019 bad down where like, oh shit, like this could go bad. Like it didn't have that vibe. Like DeMarcus Walker, confident. Jermaine Edmonds, confident. And those are guys who've been from winning teams. Like TJ Edwards, confident. Those are guys from winning programs, right? But like there was some, I don't know, call it confusion or call it shock that they got beat up this bad. That's one way to put it. It emptied fast. You know how it goes. Losses like this usually lead to empty locker rooms. But I would say that the general feel that I got from players in the locker room, the mood, the temperature of the locker room, was shock. Shock and maybe a little disbelief.
That's where I was. I mean, I obviously gave a pretty confident 10-point Bears prediction that looks silly. I get that. But I was open to the idea that they could lose this game. They always lose to the Packers. And that was like the one caveat. I was like, yeah, this could go bad. I didn't think that they'd get run out of the building. That's what was shocking about it.
The energy was so good in Soldier Field at the beginning, too. It's loud.
We felt it at the CHGO tailgate earlier today. Like, that was definitely the most excitement that has been around Soldier Field since the last time they opened up against the Packers in 2019.
And there were reasons to be optimistic. Some big name signings on defense, right? Some new names, players you know. Some talented players in the secondary. Justin Fields in his second year in this offense. DJ Moore, such a loud ovation for his introduction. Darnell Wright got a big one too. Nate Davis was kind of subdued. The energy was great. Energy was great to begin with. Tyreek Stevenson with a big hit, for the defense. Yeah. Obviously, things stalled for the Bears offense in that first one, but the energy was great. They couldn't keep up with to use DJ Moore words, they couldn't keep up with the juice. They didn't bring the juice and the hype themselves to this game.
But, like, how does that happen? Like, isn't that what the hits principle is all about?
Well, I think you're onto something though with the S.
I mean, they didn't take care of the ball. They didn't take the ball away. They didn't play
Pre-snap
smart.
penalties, holding calls. Braxton Jones had a bad game.
Braxton Jones had a bad. What was up with the? Yeah, you talk about offensive line cohesion. Did you notice that from the press box? Like, even half the time they weren't even calling it. Something was off with, like, the cadence and how the ball was being snapped and when guys were firing off the line. It was weird.
At one point, you saw it on TV, right? The penalty was called on the false start on the entire offensive line.
Yeah.
But that's, like, again, that was one of the signs coming into this game that, hey, these guys haven't practiced a lot together. This may not work out.
Yeah.
Like, so if Luke Getsy has an excuse, that's it. But where's the adjustments in this game? Like, they weren't, like, god awful. This isn't like Cleveland Browns. Let's just hit the crap out of Justin Fields awful. Wasn't that bad. There were still opportunities to move the ball. They ran the ball okay. Like, where's the adjustments?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, we're in year 3 of Justin Fields. I'm not saying we're there yet, but you're starting to get into territory, and we know this going into this year. Like, the Bears have to know what Justin Fields is, and this is not a good start.
No, I was literally about to say that.
And you could give all the excuses in the world, but good quarterbacks find a way to still make plays. They just do. And I'm not saying it's going to be, like, pretty the whole game, but and you know what? He did it at one point, like, where it seemed like he made a check on that touchdown to Mooney and just said, screw it, I'm finally going to throw the ball downfield. I got him. Good for him. But then he came back on was that the very next possession with the interception?
Yeah.
And that was just a terrible throw into coverage. Never saw quite.
Well, there's a few of those, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe one that preceded it. Like, whoa, okay. He's going to let it fly now.
Yeah.
The Boo Birds were out early in week 1.
Well, the Bears deserve those Boo Birds today. But, all right, well. Better beat the Bucs. Better beat the Bucs. Got the Chiefs in week 3.
That Bucs defense isn't bad.
Well, everyone was just like, the Bucs still made the playoffs last year. Like, I didn't think they were gonna. Look, there's gonna be some week 1 correction. I don't think the Bucs are that great of a team, but they're also not a pushover. Like, any assumption you just go into Tampa where it could be super hot, you're in the sun, that could work against you. It has in the past with the Bears. But you think it's going to be any easier to move the ball next week? Yeah, against that Bucs defense.
90-degree heat. I haven't looked at the forecast yet, but this is the time of year we've covered a few of these games down in Tampa. They can get a bit crazy too.
Yeah,
it's hot. It's humid. The players are cramping. The decision making by the coaches and the players on the field seem off. You're throwing trick plays to Paul Lasicki that forever change your best offensive lineman forever. That type of stuff happens in Tampa Bay. Chris Connie has pick sixes. Is that the same game?
I think so. Yeah. And he wasn't afraid to talk after the game.
No, he wasn't.
I think he was talking to Rich Campbell in that moment, which he deserved, quite frankly. Good for him. Just got to find a way to win. I will say this: there's probably some correct. We always see week 2 corrections. The Bucs are probably not as good as they showed going into Minnesota and winning. The Bears, maybe I'll eat these words too, but I don't think the Bears are as bad as they showed today. They better not be.
Yeah.
Or they're in some deep trouble. If they're that bad.
Well, if we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but if they lose against the Buccaneers with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, maybe a healthy Travis Kelce in week 3, you got some problems.
You're 0-3, and didn't Russell Wilson look better today? Was I following that?
I haven't checked the stats.
Yeah, I wasn't watching that game closely, but I was seeing tweets and stuff like that, or maybe getting some texts. You got the Broncos coming in week 4. All right. Well, follow us on Twitter at Adam Hoge, at Adam Jahns, the brand new Twitter account, which we appreciate everybody that's jumped on there. Over 3,000 followers at Hoge Jahns. Please check it out and hit follow if you haven't already. And all the merch is up at hogeandjahns.com.
My column is up.
There you go.
Headline: Bears get a stinging reminder that the Packers remain superior in every way. I think it's already up to like 70, 80 comments in 45 minutes.
They're probably very calm and reasoned and nice comments. Just complimenting you on your story.
Not one yet. Come on, someone give it to me.
We were actually talking on CHGO like what the headline could be on like the back page of the Sun-Times tomorrow. And I like the one where it's just, what the hell? What the hell?
WTF.
Yeah. Someone else said you could just like put the poop emoji on there.
Yeah.
Just have that. Oh, man, that was about as bad as it could be. We're not going anywhere, though. We've been through this before. No matter what happens, we'll stick with it, and we'll back Tuesday.
We'll talk you through it.
Yeah, and we'll have more comments from Matt Eberflus. We'll get a chance to rewatch it, which should be a very enjoyable experience. And we'll talk it out with you on Tuesday. Tuesday morning. I think we'll go live this week. We've been doing that. We could probably do that again Tuesday morning. Coffee with Hoge Jahns. Again, please check out the website, hogeandjahns.com, where all the merch. And we do have that voicemail line, 872-205-6022. 872-205-6022. I'm sure the voicemails, which we always play on Tuesdays. Don't forget. Got to tune in for that. The voicemails from this game. Again, calm, reason.
Get the bleep button ready.
Yeah. Oh, boy. All right. Well, good job by you. You can read all Johns' coverage, theathletic.com/Hoge Jahns. All our coverage at allchgo.com. And we'll talk to you on Tuesday.
See ya.